Believe me, I must apologize for how late we've started this morning. Of course, we were celebrating with mothers. Of course, yesterday was Mother's Day for our beautiful mothers and women with children all over the world. Of course, that's how I welcome you to today's edition of the Sports Splash right here on ABS television. Believe me, lots of things to talk about on today's edition. In fact, I'm tagging it the World Cup qualifiers edition because yesterday was really very, well, I say, heartbreaking for Nigeria. During 90 minutes, we felt we had gone, you know, we felt we were going to be victorious against Zimbabwe, but somehow these guys were able to, they succeeded with breaking our hearts. Though we didn't lose, but it was more like a loss. All right, my name is Obina, and again, I welcome you to the Sports on ABS television. And right here with me in the studio is no other person than the big man in ABS, talking about the MD of Anambra Broadcasting Service, talking about Mr. Chris Moloko. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning to you. Just call me Chris. At least. Well, let's talk sports. On the issue of the heartbreak, I don't know. Should I wait for you to ask questions, or should I keep talking?
You have to be patient. I'm calling the shots here.
Sorry,
after we're done from here, you can pick up. All right. Believe me, we're going to be talking about the World Cup qualifiers in a very short while. But quickly, we're talking about Chinazekbere, or rather Patrick Dogo, the Manchester United player who is representing, who is playing for Denmark. The young man, 20 years old, born 26th October 2004, has reported, of course, that story has been trending since the weekend, that his Igbo name, or rather his Nigerian name, has actually been added to the team sheet, both at the club level and the country that he's representing, Denmark. So we can say he's a black Danish. So according to report, the reason for his inclusion is to connect him to his roots. Of course, his Nigerian roots. What's your take about this development?
It's very interesting. There are no black men in Denmark. There are no black men in Norway. You know, but these countries have black men who definitely are Nigerians. And interestingly, you have more than 20 Nigerian internationals playing for countries other than Nigeria. Eze, for instance, Eberici Eze of Crystal Palace, he plays for England.
Yeah, he scored a goal.
Bayern Munich's Olise, yeah. I mean, he plays for France. You have these players, Ross Barkley. You have Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
You know, recently Ethan Nwaneri.
Yeah.
I mean, these are typical Igbo names, Yoruba names, Hausa names. But you find this guy is playing, there's a Jaria who hasn't officially decided his country of birth yet. He has not decided to play for England, but he's eligible. And the reason for this is quite simple. When these countries need these young lads to play for them, they send their best legs, they send their ex-internationals to go scout these guys. When Nigeria is looking for these guys to play for them, they send the NFF president. Now there is a gnawing yard when it comes to gap between sending an ex-president, sending an ex-international. The biggest Nigerian export to the English Premier League is Kanu Nwankwo.
Yeah.
All right? Now, if you say, okay, let's argue a little bit. You have a certain Yakubu Ayegbeni. Now, these men should be given ambassadorial roles. We've always clamored for this. When you go to Spain, you talk about Mutu Adepoju.
You know, some persons may have issues with the man Yakubu Ayegbeni due to that miss.
2010 against...
That miss is more like...
It's gone. Escobar Gomez had a bigger miss. Well, he was killed.
Although he says he doesn't regret that he's always done a lot for the team. He's
done much more that earned him the name Yakubul. You know, the other player we had who was a bull was Amokachi. You get who played for Everton and gave Nigeria some serious bragging rights. Right now, we have very few players in the Premier League who seem to be giving us those rights. And I think, again, it goes back to how the NFF has positioned itself. You know, have we positioned ourselves to prosper? Have we positioned ourselves to pick up these young talents who are everywhere? Or are we more interested in looking for foreign coaches?
Do you think, you don't think it's a football development thing? Like, you know, we're probably not investing enough in, let's say, grassroots football or
It's a two-way street.
age grade football.
It's a two-way street. Now, we're not investing in age grade football, yet we don't have the right ambassadors. The Beninese have a proverb that he who has big teeth must have big lips to cover it. We have big teeth and we have short lips.
All right, talking about lips, our lips were kept short yesterday during the World Cup qualifiers, but I will still keep that suspense. I won't want to talk about that at the moment. I'll be sharing with you some of the, results from the World Cup qualifiers, qualifying matches played yesterday across the globe. Now, starting from Europe, the UEFA qualifications, we saw Moldova losing at home to Estonia by 2-3. Israel losing by 4-2 against Norway. And then Liechtenstein losing at home by 2-2 to Kazakhstan. And then North Macedonia having a 1-1 draw against Wales. We also had Gibraltar losing by 4 to Czechia, according to the spelling right there. I do not understand how a team serious, hungry to play at the World Cup will be losing 4 at home. Believe me, that's a lot. All right, Montenegro losing by 1 goal, or rather winning by 1 to 0 against Faroe Islands. All right. Going quickly to the CAF qualifications, talking about still on the World Cup qualifications in the Group A, we had Egypt win by a lone goal against Sierra Leone. And then in Group B, we had Sudan and South Sudan, both Sudanese countries having a 1-1 draw, and then Mauritania losing at home by 2 to DR Congo. Senegal 2-0 victory against Togo, and then Benin Republic losing by 2 to South Africa. A lot of accolade for South Africa, considering the fact that they do not have much of a superstar-studded team. They just have what we can refer to as they have a good league, and then they play really good football, and we feel that was enough for them to actually clinch that victory. And then Nigeria won, Zimbabwe won. I'll still keep you on suspense. We won't talk about that now. And then in Group D, we had Angola losing at home to Cape Verde by 2-1. Cameroon 3-1 victory against Libya, after the Libyan team was talking so tough, saying they were going to get that victory against Cameroon, but fortunately they lost that game. Morocco, that's in Group E, getting a 2-0 victory against Tanzania. And the CAF still on the CAF qualification in Group F, we had Burundi beating Seychelles by 5-0. And then in Group G, we had Uganda getting that victory against Guinea, and then Botswana 2-0 victory against Somalia. Algeria trashing Mozambique 5-1. And then Comoros getting 1-goal victory, or rather a 1-goal victory against the team Chad. And then we move to CONMEBOL. We have Bolivia and Uruguay playing a 0-0 draw. And then in the AFC, that's in Asia, we're having Kyrgyzstan getting a 3-1 victory against Qatar. Iran and Uzbekistan getting a 2-2 draw. North Korea losing at home to UAE. I do not know what the president will do to the players. All right, that's a lot on them. Okay, then South Korea 1-0 draw against Jordan. All right, Kuwait losing at home to Oman. Palestine getting a 2-1 victory against Iraq, and then Japan 0-0 draw against Saudi Arabia. China losing at home by 2 to Australia. Indonesia 1-0 victory against Bahrain. And then still on the Asian Cup qualifications, we have the Philippines getting the 4-1 victory against the Maldives. All right, so they just know how to have the holiday sports, but they do not play let me say quality football, talking about the Maldives. All right, Tajikistan getting a 1-0 victory against Timor-Leste. This is the first time I'm hearing about that country. All right, Bhutan getting a 0-0 draw with Yemen. All right, Still on that, we still have Singapore 0-0 against Hong Kong, India 0-0 against Bangladesh, and then Chinese Taipei losing at home to Turkmenistan. Thailand getting that 1-0 victory against Sri Lanka. Believe me, lots of matches were played yesterday. Now let's talk about the Super Eagles. What really happened? Believe me, lots of reactions are from that game. But boss, what really happened? What would you say actually happened in that game? Because they started well, playing quality football, making lots of attempts against Zimbabwe. We were so convinced, seeing that game, we were so convinced that we were going to get a victory. In as much as it was difficult for us to get the goal, but we were so convinced that we were going to get the victory, and then the last minute, our hearts were broken.
Well, simple. Way back, I think the first problem is the fact that our coach, Eric Shell, he doesn't know Nigerian history. If you know Nigerian history very well, you know that Nigeria is a team that concedes most of her goals in the last 15 minutes of a game, the last 10 minutes of the first half, the first 10 minutes of the second half. Now, I didn't discover this myself. I'm no Mongo Park. This was an article written way back in 2010 by a sports analyst, way back in 2010. And since then, the trend has continued. Look at when we concede goals. From the 80th minute down, the 70th minute down, from the 50th minute, from the 35th minute. These are key areas. And why? We ask a question. We lose concentration very easily. Now, yesterday, why I'm not in a hurry to blame the coach, I will still blame the coach. I'll tell you why. He started with a very interesting formation. Playing Chukwueze, Moses Simon, Lukman, Iwobi, Osime. 5 attacking players. 5 attacking players. In a formation 4-2-3-1. Okay? Midfield shaped almost like a diamond. Now you had Lukman at the head of that diamond. All right? And then Chukwueze and Ndidi behind. Chukwueze is not known to be a defensive player. He's a player, like we call it in the local palace, take and go, hit and run.
An attacker.
He's an attacking player. So in this whole arrangement, they had just one defensive-minded player, Wilfred Ndidi, to cover a makeshift defense. Oh, I say makeshift because Olaino is not a left-footed player. He's a right back, even for Nottingham Forest. Okay? In this game, he was playing left full-back, and Osai Samuel was playing right back. No problem. The game went well from the back line. Trust Ekong and Calvin Bassey. Calvin Bassey, not a natural centre-back. All right? But he's been doing very well for Fulham. Now, these 4 guys marshaled the back very well in the first half. When we got the dying embers, Nigeria got her goal in the 70th minute-ish.
Yeah, 75 minutes.
Now, we took out Victor Osimhen in the 87th minute. We replaced him with Victor Boniface. You are still attacking instead of closing the game. One of my favorite coaches of all time is Sam Allardyce. Not because he knows how to play the game, but because he's a closer. He can play boring football in his days at Bolton, but he will give you the result. He will give you the result. Because football is about results.
All right, quickly, let's see some reactions from sports lovers across the country. We saw one from the man Puja. He said the reason I always go with Mourinho. He's not a Sam Allardyce fan, probably. He says a goal up, and that's all that was needed. He closed shop. No need for philosophy again. Just rugby, football. Basically. That's from the man Puja. And then this coming from the man Cross at Air Cross Media Hub. He said Osimhen, Bassey, and Aina for just find another serious country. Play World Cup. Be like this one's not ready at all. Just go use the one that raise our hopes.
Just an addendum. It's not over for the Super Eagles yet. There's an appeal by, I think, Lesotho. Against South Africa, they fielded an ineligible player, a player who had received 2 yellow cards.
Mokwena.
Yeah, Mokwena. By the rules, once you receive 2 yellow cards, you're supposed to miss the subsequent game.
Yeah.
He received a yellow card in the first game and the fourth game, and he played yesterday. So they raised an appeal to FIFA. Now, should those 3 points be removed from South Africa, it takes them to 10 points. Now, those 3 points will be given to Lesotho. So it pushes them from, I think, 6 or 7 to 10. If that math is correct, the Super Eagles need to win all their games.
Very important.
By winning all their games, they will qualify automatically. You understand? Because by winning all their games, they are on 7, and that will take South Africa to 10, which means if they beat South Africa, they will be on 10-10. Now, every other game that needs to be won, should they win all of them, then they are sure. But if South Africa wins the appeal, it leaves South Africa on 13 points. And if the Eagles win all their games, they will now have to play playoff, which for me is much more scary.
All right, words from the former, or rather from the one-time Super Eagles gaffer, talking about, skipper, talking about Kenneth Omero. He says, well done, boys. We're almost there. Unlucky with the late goal. Just believe. So hopefully Nigeria is going to be at the World Cup, participating in 6 of the last 8 World Cup. All right, this is where we close curtain. This is where we end the show. The much we can give you on today's edition of Sports Splash. Thank you both for coming around. My name is Obina. Do have a very positive day.